I've been wanting to get my crafting to level 99 for the past few months, and I found this interesting yet expensive training method that gives you 2.5 million crafting and 2.5 million smithing experience per hour. And the end result is something like this. Me getting 99 crafting in just few hours. It's one of the most busted methods in Oldschool Runescape, but there is also a caveat and a problem, one might say. It's quite expensive. Actually, it's very, very expensive. The best way to currently get crystal shards really fast is buying enhanced teleport seeds. And as you can see, that was instantly minus 200 million GP gone. And I had to do that over and over again multiple times. Once you have the teleport seeds, you can come here to this guy called Amrod, and he will give you 150 shards for one seed. Since I'm opening up 10,000 keys, I needed 100,000 crystal shards, and that cost me roughly 1.6 billion GP to obtain. The method requires you to combine crystal keys with crystal shards, and that gives you 500 experience per one item. My initial goal was to just get 99 crafting and smithing, leave it at that and never open up the keys. But I soon realized how expensive this method really is, so today I want to get some of that money back. And we're going to open up 10,000 enhanced crystal chests to see how much loot can I accumulate, and maybe I can actually see some profit. The idea itself is very easy, and I'll show you the full loot by the end of the video. Since I have crafting cape now, this works perfectly between banking very fast and opening up the keys. You just use the teleport crystal to get right next to the location with 12 keys in your inventory, and once you open all of them up, you bank with crafting cape or any other teleport method and repeat the process. If you want to do it yourself, you can open up roughly 950 keys per hour. So for me to open up all 10,000, it took me 11 hours over the course of 2 days. Now the first thing I completely forgot about is that opening this chest also gives me crystal shards. You know, the exact thing I just spent insane amount of money to obtain in the first place. If I was a smart person, I should have just crafted these crystal keys in batches. Basically, I open up few thousand chests, get some shards, get some keys, craft them together and open up more chests. That way the loss would have been significantly less than what I ended up with. I'm telling you right now, after opening 10,000 chests, I ended up with 40,000 extra crystal shards. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what to do with them. I think when I want to AFK something or watch a movie, I'll turn them into divine super combo potions to get some money back. Also, a small side note, Jagex recently buffed your armor and weapon charges, and that includes crystal armor and Bofa as well. Basically, if you already use crystal shards on your Bofa, it now considers used charges to contribute to making the weapon permanent. So in this clip, I only needed to use 950 crystal shards to corrupt out of the 2000 because I've already used this weapon for some time. Also, by the way, if you plan to corrupt your Bofa, be a gentleman and also buy the red outfit to match your weapon. That is the only way to get the attention of hot runescape girls. But the crystal shards were just one part of the loot table. The other important thing for me was the collection log items. There is total of 5 Dragonstone armor pieces that you can get from here. Gloves, boots, plate body, plate legs and full helm. The armor itself actually looks quite nice. I think it is only available for members despite being a trimmed rune armor, and it's also a collection log item that's valuable to a lot of players. For example, the Dragonstone full helm is currently 1.4 million GP and the full set is almost 5 million GP. I must say, I got pretty lucky with the pieces. Firstly, I unlocked all the 5 collection log items and it just took me like few thousand keys to get them. But that wasn't everything. I had multiple cases where I got the Dragonstone items one after the other. For example, in this clip you can see I got the Dragonstone legs and I was like, nice. That is extra 1.2 million GP, and then literally 60 seconds later I got another pair of legs. And I was like, wow, that is kinda lucky. Then the same thing happened again few hours later. I got the plate body and I was like, nice, plus 1.3 million GP. And then exactly 1 minute later I got another plate body, and this happened on multiple occasions where I just sniped the valuable pieces one after the other. I definitely lucked out on the Dragonstone armor to say the least. In total, from 10,000 keys, I should have gotten 20 pieces of Dragonstone, but I ended up with 25 pieces. So I got some extra money from that, and it was definitely nice to constantly see some unique drops. The final collection log item you can get is the uncut onyx. One of the reasons I wanted to specifically have 10,000 keys is because the uncut onyx is 1 in a 10,000 drop from crystal chest. And since I don't have that collection log item filled out, I thought this was a great opportunity to finally get that. Not that I really care about clogging in the first place, but the pop-ups are always very satisfying to me no matter what the item is. Here's the catch. 1 in a 10,000 drop rate is a very long shot, so there was definitely a chance I wasn't even going to get the onyx. But luckily for me, after opening over 8,000 chests, I jumped up when I got this notification and I saw the uncut onyx in my inventory. It was definitely a very exciting moment, and to prove it's real, I even dropped it to the ground. And that also meant I filled up all 6 collection log items before I finished the entire grind. Overall, that was a very positive takeaway from this entire discussion and a nice 2.7 million GP I pocketed for myself. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see more of these fun loot videos, please consider helping me out and subscribing so I know if you want to see more of them. Thank you very much. At this point, the grind definitely got to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, 11 hours of opening up loot is definitely fun, but clicking manually 10,000 times on a chest one by one is an absolute pain to me. If anyone from Jagex is watching, this place definitely deserves some quality of life upgrades. Most importantly, please make the runite ore into noded items. It's so goddamn annoying that your entire inventory fills up with unnoded runite ores and every other piece of loot falls to the ground. I mean, look at this. I accidentally took too many keys on a single trip and I ended up with like 50 items on the ground. The sweet spot for me is between 10 to 12 keys per inventory. Anything over that and you're just gonna leave a lot of loot behind you. Also, this goes back to the start of the video, but when you're making the crystal keys, you have to click all option every time you make the keys, and you have to do that manually for some reason. It doesn't save your last preference. So every inventory you do, you first have to click all and then make the keys, and that was honestly very annoying. I checked if this happened to other players as well, and it's been in the game for over 5 years now, because I guess nobody really trains with this method, so there was never reason to fix it. But okay, back to the best part of this video, the loot. Funniest part about this entire thing is me getting almost 1,500 crystal acorns, and if you put that into experience, it comes to almost 20 million farming experience just from these alone. Now granted, you can only do 3 farm runs per single day, so realistically it would take me almost 2 years to plant them all. But they are a decent chance to get the farming pet, and they give on average 30 crystal shards per 1 tree. So if I'm planning to turn all of these acorns into farming experience, I would be looking at roughly 45,000 extra crystal shards from just this item alone. The reason this number sounds so insane is because about 6 months ago, Jagex buffed every possible crystal shard method in the game. Like for example, the crystal tree used to give you 15 shards, and now it gives you double the amount. Salcano, Gauntlet, Slayer, crystal implings, and even things like woodcutting, thieving, agility, mining, and prifddinas all got buffed. That being said, after 11 hours of opening up 10,000 keys, it was finally finished and the small but very entertaining grind was over. I got tons of other loot on top of what I already mentioned, and this was the final outcome right here. Almost 50,000 of each rune, almost 200k gold ore and 50,000 sharks. I got over 600 U seeds and over 10,000 of each gem. I also got 60 million GP cash, and like I mentioned before, I got over 2,000 crystal keys back from opening 10,000. And of course the dragon and rune items. Honestly, I'm gonna say this right now, I lost a lot of money with this method, but looking at this kind of loot tabs after long openings is always extremely satisfying to watch. It kind of reminds me those old fake screenshots of private servers where somebody had like 1,000 Santa hats and 4 billion GP, because of course, why not, you know? So let me sell everything and see what the final price is and how much money I made from this. Honestly, I could wait a few days and maybe squeeze a little bit more GP out of this weird experiment, but I just ended up dumping everything into GE because let's be honest, I'm already going to lose a lot of money, and after everything was sold, I ended up with 523 million GP, and the crystal items in my inventory would give me roughly extra 100 million GP if I was going to turn them into divine super combat potions. Also, just a side note, selling the Dragonstone armor is actually quite difficult. Nobody is really buying it despite the price. For example, I put the gloves in for 1 GP and they sold for 100k despite the value showcasing 500k. But after everything was said and done, I made in total roughly 620 million GP from opening up 10,000 enhanced crystal keys. And that brings me an average of 60k GP per 1 key. Honestly, that is well above average. I did get a lot of good loot I wasn't expecting, so at least I made some extra profit here. The problem is I lost a lot of money with this method. Making 1 key requires you to have 10 crystal shards and 1 crystal key. That means the total money you need is 185k GP. And like I said, at the end I got back 62k per key. So in the end I lost roughly, give or take, 1.2 billion GP, and in return I got 5 million crafting experience and 5 million smithing experience. Keep in mind that the only reason I got 99 crafting was so that I can use the crafting guild bank instead of using Castle Wars. My idea was that crafting guild bank means I don't have to use the Ring of Dwelling anymore, and it's free. So essentially, in the end, I changed out this 700 GP ring for a 1.2 billion GP cape instead. Now, if that isn't a smart investment, I don't know what is. All jokes aside, this was one of the craziest loot openings I've ever done. I have no regrets losing all that money. I always see these fun, expensive videos that people are doing, and now I got to try it out myself. Also, you can make fun of me for losing over 1 billion GP. I will allow it in this video. But that's it from me. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow with another one. I love you all very much. Bye.